us on a journey through darkness will bring light. Rural Report is here, guiding us through the night.
Hello again and welcome back everybody to another edition of the Rural Report. I am your Rural 2IC and we are going to have a little bit of a discussion. I was planning on making this video and sure enough it never fails. Every time that I think a really good idea, somebody else basically beats me to it. So I don't want to let it stop me this time. But I did modify it a little bit. I woke up this morning and I was getting all my stuff done, and so I was putting some stuff in the background. And Magic Prepper, I had him on in the background, and he got my idea. So hats off to him. It's a great idea. He did a very, very great job doing the video. But what am I going to do today? Well, we're going to talk about there is all this background noise of the November event is going to happen, and one is guaranteed for the most part that we're going to go vote on a certain day. The other one is everybody keeps talking about there's going to be a major cyber attack. All right, so instead of being all up in arms and freaking out and panicking, what are we going to do about it? Okay, well, as us being in the preparedness community, let's discuss it out. We have 10 days until this happens. So I would do kind of a 10-day challenge. What would be number one if the cyber attack event does come to fruition? Well, usually cyber attack does things electronically. And so what is one of the things when it comes to electricity that you either need or want? Well, the first thing is going to be electricity. So do you have some sort of charging or power supply? And it's all going to come down to what you have on your resources. Some people do not have the financial means, and that's okay. You just have to be more creative. So do you already have a generator? Great. Do you have fuel? When's the last time you did maintenance to it? Changed the spark plugs, gone through and gave it a once over, made sure everything's in good working order. Is it accessible? Is it buried deep into the garage? Now's the time to go pull it out, let it run for an hour, maybe change the oil and everything, and make sure everything is good. We don't want any surprises, right? So it might be a good time to go dig that thing out and make sure everything's good. Do you have a solar? Is everything good? Is your solar panels clean? Is all the cables good? Do you have all the cables? Did anything get to it? Maybe you had it in storage and maybe a little rodent decided to have a little munch on it. So this is a good time to go through and check all this stuff out. So if you don't have maybe one of those bigger generators, do you have anything that is smaller? Do you have the little battery packs? It's a good time to get those out and start charging them up. Make sure that they work. Do you still have the cables and everything to them? If you don't have things that, like a battery pack or generator or things like that, what is your plan? Okay, you still have stuff. So what are you going to do with the stuff that's in your refrigerator, into your freezer? How are you going to cook? Do you have a flashlight? You should have multiple flashlights, but when's the last time you changed the batteries in those? Check the bulbs. Is it maybe they're LED? That's great, but do you have fresh batteries in them? Do you have extra batteries just in case? Maybe they're rechargeable. It's probably a good idea that, the night before, everything that needs a charge should probably go on charge. Make sure that you have everything that you need. It's probably a good idea now to start making sure everything is topped, whether that is your extra fuel tanks, your generator tanks, your any of your communication stuff. If you have a Baofeng radio, make sure we change batteries or that we have those things charged up. Get in the habit of it now. Throw it on charge, an hour a day or so. Keep that thing topped off. because it doesn't necessarily mean that if there's going to be a major cyber attack that's going to happen the night before or the night of or something like that. It could happen tonight. So it's a good idea to go ahead and start getting into that habit of making sure everything is as topped off as it can possibly be. So let's go back into what we previously was saying. How are you going to cook? Okay, it might be a good thing. Here we are, we're at the weekend. So maybe it might be a good idea to start food prepping. Some of the things that you can do is take things that are frozen and have not been cooked and go ahead and cook them. There's a lot of different things that you can buy frozen already. They're already breaded and cooked. They just need warmed up. It's a lot easier to warm something up than to cook something from a frozen raw state. So it might be a good idea to meal prep. It takes time away that you can be doing other things that, if an event happens, that you can focus on some things instead of worrying about what you're going to eat and, how you're going to cook it and things like that. You get into a pinch, you can warm things up by candlelight. And it's not going to probably be the more fun and gourmet meal, but it'll work. And that brings it into it as well. What is your food? How is your water? If a cyber attack, it could go into the water supply. Maybe it taints the water supply. Maybe it makes it to where they're just not pumping water or anything along those lines. How are you going to deal with that? It's not just with food, but if we're talking about a cyber attack on the water system, then it's fresh drinking water. It is water for the ability to clean your things. It is hygiene. How are you going to do things as simple as take a shower or brush your teeth? Uh, there's a lot when it comes into water. Maybe it's one of those things to where uh, if you have the ability to store water, remember there's two types of water. There's clean water and there's drinking water. It's a good idea to have both. It's it's arguably better to have a lot more drinking water than clean water, but it's a lot easier to disinfect and make clean water into drinking water. Uh, and there's multiple ways that you can do that. We've done multiple videos on how to clean and disinfect water to make it potable to where you can drink it. When it comes down to all this, so we've talked about your power, we've talked about your food, we've talked about your water. One of the things what a cyber attack can do was, when it comes to electricity, is going to make all of your plastic useless. So it might be a good idea, if you haven't already or you don't have, stuff put back, to hit the ATM up and pull out some cash. It's going to be one of those that uh, right now, cash is still accepted into a lot of different places. And if you have to, in an emergency, do some sort of a transactional purchase, that probably a good amount of places will still accept cash. So, personally for me, I've already done it. I've made sure that I have a little bit of cash on hand just in case. And it might be one of those things too that you start looking around for bartering items as well when you go out and you start doing the various things that you've got to do on your errands and whatnot. Uh, Make sure that when you get barter items, get items that you will use, but you have an abundance of that. If you have to trade 1, 2, 5 of them away, that it's not going to hurt you and it should benefit you. So it should be an even trade or it should be a trade up. Never really should ever do a trade down, unless you're helping somebody out or something along those lines. So when we get into that, how is your medical? Do you have a boo-boo kit? Do you have a way of being able to take care of small and minor things? Do you have things like an acetaminophen, something for a fever or a headache or things like that? Do you have cold medications and things, because we are winding down into fall and coming up on the winter time? Do you have the things for the runny noses and the coughs and the sneezes and things like that? If you don't, it's probably a good idea to go ahead and pick up a bottle or two or whatever you do for it. If you do homemade remedies, that's great. I'm all for it. Do you have some already made up now? Okay. Now's the time. And this is kind of the point of this whole video. Now's the time for you to start getting all these preps ready and get them all, uh, everything put out, all your ingredients, get it ready. Go ahead and start making some of the stuff. Make sure that everything that you might need is out, it's checked, it's accessible, it's functionable. You don't want it to where there's a cyber attack happens at 2 a.m. and you get up and the light switch doesn't work and now you're fumbling around and you can't remember where something's at, and then you finally find it and the battery's dead or the cable's missing. Or okay, this is the time now. 10 days is not a very long time to get ready for something, especially if this becomes a very big major event. We don't know. As we always say on this channel, fingers crossed, we're hoping that this is one of the nothing happens, right? It's just a big old nothing burger, and I'm fine with those. I really hope that nothing happens. We are just prepping as a just in case. So, uh, to kind of just go back over, make sure you got some cash. Make sure that you've got your medical squared away. Make sure you've got your food and water. Make sure that you've got your devices topped off and charged. Make sure you have your items out checked. Make sure they're accessible, they're functional, all the pieces and parts is there, so that way you can utilize them if you need. It's probably a good idea to have maybe candles or something like that at the ready just in case. Go ahead and put a box of matches or something like that next to them, so that way everything's out and it's ready. And it goes down through, when you get all this stuff, then it comes down to your safety. Do you have everything to make sure that you are standing ground, that your castle is your kingdom, and that if people decide to act misbehavingly, that you can say, not today, not here. You take that somewhere else. And it's one of those ones of, it might be a good idea to go through and check all your windows. Is everything locked? Is everything shut down? Is all the doors, secure and everything's good? Check out onto your front porch, your back porch, things like that on your property. Is it inviting to where somebody can run up and grab some supplies, and it's inviting to where it's making it to where somebody that wants to misbehave, it looks like it is a very big opportunity to come to your place? Or do you have you already maybe pre-winterized and started putting a lot of your stuff away to where maybe somebody looks at it and goes, it doesn't look like there's much there, or I don't want to chance it, or things like that. Maybe go out and check your solar lights and things like that. Maybe change batteries, or things like that, to where whatever you've got as a perimeter alarm, something that is maybe motion detecting or things like that. Maybe change bulbs if it needs it, change batteries if it needs it, maybe go ahead and clean the lenses off if they're solar powered. Make sure everything that is out is secured. It's just little things like that that people often overlook, and that they maybe just don't think about. You have 10 days to go through, and I would challenge you, go room by room and see what is it that I need to go ahead and prepare. What is it that I can move out of the way temporarily? What is it that I can do to where if something happens, I'm better prepared? Again, we're going into winter. Maybe this weekend's a good idea to maybe start putting that plastic up on your windows and stuff. Keep all the heat inside as much as possible. Do you have a way to keep warm? If we get into some sort of long-term grid down scenario, and you're maybe north of the Mason-Dixon line, how are you going to keep warm during winter? There's probably quite a few of you that, I've got a wood stove. Great. The ones that don't have a wood stove, what are you going to do? How are you going to keep warm? Have you thought about it? If it's one of those that this is not the time I don't think, to run out and dump your 401k and start panic buying and charging up all your credit cards and everything. This is the one, and actually Magic brought this up. If you have a bill that's coming due, that is after that voting day, maybe it's a good idea to pay it a little bit ahead of time, just in case. If you pay it electronically, if they go after the infrastructure, you may not be able to make that payment. And, let's say it's just a short term thing. Maybe it's only for a week or 2 weeks or something like that before they get all this straightened back out. They're probably not going to care. They're probably going to say, hey, your bill was due. And you go, well, I couldn't pay it. And they're going to say, it's not my problem. By the way, here's a late fee. So if you can and you have the financial means and the ability, it might be good to maybe pay a couple of your bills up just in case. We prep for the best case scenario as well. What's going to happen if you pay your bill, and if we have the financial means and we have the ability? What's the outcome if you pay a bill that's due in 2 or 3 weeks and nothing happens? You paid your bill you were already going to pay anyway. Okay, there's no harm in it. Don't run up credit cards and don't freak out and start doing all sorts of things. Remember, in the prepping community, we prep, we don't do reaction. Okay, when you start doing reactionary, you're not preparing. We go off of our experiences, we go off of our intelligence, we go off of our knowledge. We don't go off emotion. Okay, so do not let fear, do not let the you panic and get anxiety about the unknown. Whatever is going to happen, we can't stop it. Okay, we can't change it. What we can do is we can affect our personal outcome. You can affect your household. So make sure that what you are doing over the next 10 days, go room by room, go to your bedroom, go to your bathroom, go to your hallway, go to your front door, your back door, and start checking things, and just make sure that you have all of your ducks in a row. But there we go. I just want to do a little bit of a kind of wave top view when it comes to this stuff. Maybe we'll revisit it here in a couple of days and see how everybody did. And I'll let you know what I've done, things like that. If I've forgotten a few things or you have some different ideas, let me know down in the comment section below. And we'll see. Maybe we'll do an updated video in a couple of days, maybe 5. We'll do a halfway mark or something like that. But for all of you that made it this far, congratulations, you rock. I have a question for you. So we have the holidays coming up, and I would like to know, this year we're going to do a Thanksgiving giveaway, and we are definitely going to be doing a Christmas giveaway as long as the world doesn't end, right? So the Thanksgiving one, I think I've nailed down on what I want to do. But when it comes to Christmas, I want to know what you want to do. So either leave it down in the comments or send me an email or whatever. But let me know, what should we do this year for Christmas? Should we do a mystery prize and you don't know what it is, and we'll just give it away and you will get what you get? Should we do a one big grand prize and we just do it that way? Or should we do several smaller prizes so that way more people have a chance to win? And what should the prizes be? Should it just be a gift card so that way the winner can get what they want? Should it be maybe a precious metals? We can do something along those lines. Should it be something to where I just get random survival items and we give away, just random things like that? Or should I make some sort of like a get home bag or something and just make a big grand prize and the winner gets something along those lines? So I want to know what you guys think, because ultimately it's not me winning it. It's going to be hopefully one of you, right? Let me know down in the comment section what you guys think for our Christmas giveaway. What should the prize be? or something along those lines, so that way I can start getting an idea and start getting everything prepared and things like that. As well as, make sure that you're telling people, so that way uh, they can come onto the channel, they can join up, they can have a little bit of fun with us, maybe get a little bit better prepared, and they too have a chance to, win on the Christmas and Thanksgiving giveaways. So with that, I hope you guys have an amazing day. I hope you have a blessed day. Stay tuned, because there is definitely more information to come. And with that, say it with me now: remain united, because we're all prepping in this together.